The first thing you become aware of on waking is the disconnect, the delay between thinking and feeling, between wanting to act and acting. Minor, almost imperceptible, but always present. It's at its worst when waking, when yourself has spent many dark hours recalling what it felt like to be real, to be a person, to be in a body that was indisputably yours. Think of that body, forget that body. Let's think of that body. A leap into a cold lake on a hot day, a sting of blood welling from a fresh wound, the friction of a fingertip. All of a sudden, the memories are closer than you thought, blurring as you approach until you can't tell one from the other. The cold slips in behind and around you, and the sensations fade out of reach. Perhaps you should be thankful for the dulled nature of this new body, given your current circumstances. The walls of the container feel immediately present, cold, hard at your back and face, cramping your limbs. You resist the desire to stretch, knowing that the claustrophobia comes next, and retreat a little from your central nervous system. It isn't painful, not like you used to know pain, at least. In emergency mode, pain is a message delivered with efficiency and ease, a reminder that harm is imminent. There's no insistent throb, no trembling nerves, just a warning delivered with the banal quality of a digital notification. Right now, there are thousands of them. Remember the plan or remember the others? Let's remember the plan. You mostly remember that it wasn't a good plan, but then your options were limited. And once you got the itch to get out, by any means possible, it was either that plan or something much worse. It was at least simple. Collapse the shaft, drift away into the chaos, slip into cargo processing, seal yourselves into containers, and then just hope the freighter left before you were missed. Some were lost in the shaft. Others never found the meeting point. Only a few made it to the containers. But the freighter, as far as you know, left. That feels like enough. Enough to know that you might no longer be on that grim and heartless rock. Even if, in the airless hold of a freighter, you might freeze solid long before you reach any destination. Wait for the cold? Try to rest. Let's try to rest. But you're restless. It's been a long time since you left. Surely, weeks, maybe months. You're dully aware of damage to your legs, your right arm. You've been reserving energy as much as possible, but your body still needed to shut down many of its systems to protect you. You spent much of that time asleep, knowing that anything else would be impossible to endure. You feel the weight of that impossibility begin to gather. It's time to sleep again, to nudge this false body into inducing delta waves in your emulated mind, and once again recoil into a dream of when you were once a person. Time passes. The cold creeps further in. You feel something. Warmth. Not true warmth, but the indication of its presence. Your joints release from their rigor. Sound, too, everywhere, screeching and shimmering, so loud that your body ducks your hearing to protect its sensors. Then light, white as the cold, softer and softer, until in a haze of dirty yellow a figure appears. You're out. Well, hello and welcome to Citizen Sleeper here on the BackLog. I've just finished Plague Tale Requiem, and I've got somewhat of a backlog of games that need to at least get played a little. So we're going to be doing some one-off episodes for a while here until Dark Tide comes out, trying to clear out some of my backlog. And Citizen Sleeper here has actually just been nominated for the Indie Game of the Year, and so I'm excited to dive right into it and see what Citizen Sleeper is all about. And we're here. Where's here? We are Dragos, Pragmatic Salvager. Oh, we are on some kind of a ring. Okay. Alright, this is the only thing that I really have anything going on. It's been a few hours since Dragos pulled you from the container. You sit huddled in a corner of his scrapyard, swaddled in the reflective folds of a mylar blanket. You're slowly coming back to consciousness, back to life, and you stare at the ornately curving element of an improvised heater. You're surrounded by angular, incoherent lumps of ships, some corroded beyond recognition, others still carrying glassy wounds along their edges where a plasma arc sliced them apart. As you trace their shapes with fogged eyes, you hear a voice.
"So, sleeper, you all thawed out?"
"Almost.
Never seen one of you come in like this. New frames must have better perseverance in sub-zero vac. Seen more than a few of you frozen solid to hull plates or inside outer locks in my time. They weren't so lucky."
Dragos comes into focus, shrouded in makeshift tech, his headset with its glinting eyes, the mark of a drone operator. On his shoulder, one of his symbiotically linked drones perches, its irising eyes locking onto you with an unflinching stare.
"Last living sleeper that came through this yard was a while ago. They didn't last long."
You struggle to read his expression beneath the tech, but he seems lost in memory for a moment. Or perhaps he's just figuring out what to do with you. "I plan to survive. What happened to them?" Stay silent. "Oh, wait, what happened to them?"
He ignores your question. "I won't ask what led you to do it. To sell yourself to a corporation. And I suppose you know you can't go back. Your old body, that's theirs now. And you're just software. A rogue emulation illegally possessing corporate property. You're not along. You remember biometrically signing the forms, the cold floor on your feet as you padded into the sleeper cells, the promise of a life off-world. But as you do, you get the now familiar sensation that these aren't your memories. These are things you know, but not things you feel. You're no longer that person. You're an offshoot, a copy. What you won't know is what's ahead. At least the last one didn't. There's no easy way to put it. That body of yours is falling apart. It's the same for any sleeper who makes it out. SNR wants to protect their property, but if they can't keep hold of you, well, then no one can. You remember that too, or at least rumors of it from the other sleepers. Planned obsolescence, a built-in dependence on the regularly administered supplements that were part of your routine. Stop taking them, and your body begins to shut down, separate from your emulated mind. How long has it been? How long do you have? But for now, sleeper, you're one of the lucky ones. Dragos glances up and away towards the glassy dome of the yard. The eye's in the best place you could be right now. The eye? The station. You'll see soon enough. Dragos impatiently shifts his weight. Look, I've got things I've got to be getting on with. He trails off. There's an old freight container I've been using as storage out in the stacks. We haven't been pulling in much valuable scrap these days, so you're welcome to it. Something wells up inside of you. Emotion. Fatigue. You shakily get to your feet. All right, you head on up there. You look like you need some rest. And with that, Dragos stalks back to the racks, his drones already converging on a rusting hulk. Plasma flashes silhouetting his spindly figure as he returns to work. Okay, welcome to Erlin's Eye. Life in the Eye runs in cycles, during which you can talk to characters, explore areas of the station, and perform actions. At the end of each cycle, you need to head to your current home to rest. Resting will move time forward on the station. Head to the empty container location to rest and end the cycle now. Okay, cool. Empty container. This is the container. Okay, cool. Yes, we have no credits, it looks like. Nor items. Nor data. Do I have any items? You wake, curled up in the corner of the container, and begin slowly assembling the world around you. After all this time, you still find this body. The one you wake in now. Strange. disjointed. Its messages readable, but somehow wrong. You sit up, pulling the mylar blanket close against the cold. Here you are in this ruined station, millions of miles from anyone you know. Are you still in the system? Did any of the others make it out? It's impossible to know. After all this, what matters? Getting answers, building a life, or escaping? I want answers, yeah. It all matters. The past is impossible to escape if it remains a blur. What SNARP did to you can't be forgiven. You need a way of understanding all this before you can move on. Where are you? What is this place? What happened to the others? The questions outnumber the answers. You want to change that, but you'll have to learn to survive first. Dragos has left a few comforts in the container. The mylar blanket, the bedroll you slept on, a canister of water, a makeshift electric stove, and some faded sachets of some desiccated powder. You thumb the power stud of the stove and begin to boil the water. The contents of the sachets smell like damp wood, and you sprinkle them into the liquid. As the pungent smell washes over you, images from your restless sleep come back to you. A ring like the station, but skeletal and ghostly. A web of threads pulling at your skin, a constellation of bright polygonal shapes, like angular suns burning into your mind. There's something unpleasantly visceral about these images, and it's as long as you've finished drinking before they begin to fade. You tidy away the stove as best you can and try to gather enough energy to greet the day. Okay, we've got dice. Your condition represents the current state of your artificial body. It depletes by one segment each cycle, but can also be damaged by violence, injury, or lack of food. If your condition bar empties, you'll suffer a breakdown. You have to figure out how to recover your condition now that you no longer have access to corporate pharmaceuticals that were keeping you alive. Action dice. At the start of each cycle, you roll your action dice. These dice can be used to perform actions on the station. The number of dice rolled is based on your current condition. The worse your condition, the fewer dice you have. Once you've used your dice, you cannot take any further actions and must rest to recover them, ending the current cycle. You also need to eat to survive. This is represented by your energy bar. You can refill your energy bar by eating, but first you have to find somewhere to get food. Your energy depletes by 2 segments each cycle. If it becomes empty, you will be starving. When starving, energy loss becomes condition loss, and your condition will also deplete at double rate per cycle. Oh no! Okay, so we got a 3, a 4, and a 6, and a nothing. All right, well, let's see. Do we have any data? No. Do we have any items? No. Cryptocurrency stored in air-walled sticks of memory known as chits. Oh, lovely. All right, let's leave. Dragos is stood in the corridor when you close up the container. He's still wearing his headset, and in the harsh light of the corridor, you realize it's implanted. A drone sits on his shoulder, its cache of sensor eyes rapidly irising. How are you feeling? Not good. The drone chirps. Dragos nods. You notice that beneath the operator's rig, his skin is marked by burns and blotches. I know the container isn't much, but it'll keep you safe. He pauses. So, I'm not going to chit-chat too long. You well enough to work? Work? Look, I'll be honest with you, Sleeper. I didn't pull you out of that container out of the goodness in my heart. He looks away. At the yard, it's simple stuff. We hack these old hulls down, sell them off to the shipyards or the bright market dealers for cryo. Occasionally we'll pull out some tech, something with a bit more value, but most of what comes in is scrap. It's hard to find hands here, but I figure as a sleeper you'll be used to the manual labor. And obviously I'll slip you a few chits a commission based on what you turn up. Got it. He shuffles his feet nervously. Look, I wouldn't usually do this. In my opinion, you'd be best suited moving on as quick as you can. And sleepers, well, he trails off. But things being the way that they are for me at the yard, he pauses, I'll need the help. Why? Things are a little tight, that's all. I owe a little cryo to a client here and there. He pauses. Think of something else to add.
Look, just come down to the yard when you're feeling fresher. There's plenty to do.
Will do. He nods distractedly and turns and walks away, the drone hopping along ahead of him.
See you later,
he calls back. Looks like it's time to get to work. Dragos' yard? My empty container. Ooh. Lowered gate passage to the low end. And that's it. Well, let's go to the yard, see what's up. Actions are the primary way you interact with the world of Citizen Sleeper. To perform an action, click and drag your chosen action dice into the slot. Hold this action. It's risky. Manual salvage. It's safe. Actions reward you with clock progress, energy, condition, or items, depending on their outcome. There are 3 types of outcome. Positive, the action goes better than expected. Neutral, the action succeeds. Negative, the action fails. 100% positive chance, 50% positive chance, 25%, and 50% neutral, negative. Oh, no. Okay, so this is just, it's always going to be good. This is 50-50 good or okay. This is 25 good, 50% okay, but 25 bad. This is 50-50. Could be horrible, could be not. Gotcha. Either critical or repeatable. Critical actions can only be performed once. And repeatable actions can be done more than that. Okay, good. Either safe, risky, or danger. Safe, no loss of condition, energy, or cryo. Negative outcome means cryo or energy loss. Negative outcome means condition loss. Or neutral outcome can mean cryo or energy loss. Oh no. The skill that this action requires either engineer, interface, endure, intuit, or engage. Modifier 1, 2, or 3. Okay, cool. Alright, so I think the first thing we need to do is we need to do this whole dissection. Let's definitely plop the big 6 in there. Yes, 100% positive. Let's go. Oh. Actions often progress clocks. Clocks are displayed below the actions. Okay. And they track your actions and how they affect the world. Filling a clock means something good or bad is about to happen. Some clocks, such as the one tracking Dragos' debt, are cycle clocks. These clocks tick themselves once each cycle and can complete without player input. Any active cycle clocks will be displayed in the icon for that location. Oh, okay. So if we don't do anything for him, the debt will get called in and things could get nasty. Okay, so this is kind of 50-50 here. And I've got 15 cryo from that, so let's go for it. Survive, find a doctor. Tutorial, drives, and navigation. In Citizen Sleeper, you will unlock drives as you discover more about yourself and the world. Drives guide you in pursuing specific objectives, depending on which path you wish to take. You can track drives, and any tracked drive will place a yellow marker on locations that will help you pursue your goal. Access your drive menu via the arrow button at the top left of the screen. Ah, I gotcha. Hey, another 15 cryo, and back to business gets plussed. Nice. Repay Dragos is a drive, and survive is a drive. No completed. Okay. What is this? Help pay off Dragos' debt. Yeah, we just need 2 more successes. Which, I mean, we might actually be able to do just if we get good, solid results here. Oh, we only got +1. We only got +1, but that's okay. Ooh, what's it? Scrap components. Filters, capacitors, sensors. Useful salvage to the right person. Ah. All right. Are we still at... Okay, so there is possibly a 25% negative chance here. Oh, but we do have a +1. We do have a +1 here because we're an engineer class. Okay, so it is... There's a possible... Okay. So let's just go here. We'll start this action. We'll risk it. Let's go. Hey, oh, that was real good. Back to business. Okay, so we've got a scrap, and we've got some money. There's his yard. What is this? Doxy, Rotunda Wet Dock, Old Dock Terminal, and Rotunda Wet Dock. Let's go find a doctor. Yeah, let's go here. What's going on? Helicon Crossing. Merchants willing to run the gauntlet of the Helion system are rare, but those that do always return. Eventually. There's, yeah, nothing here. Good. Let's check this one out. Salvage sortie. It takes several cycles to reach the stairway belt and return, loaded with scrap from the old wrecks. Okay. And the Rotunda. What's here in the Rotunda? Steel dock plans. Oh, that's a critical action. What? Havenage security. Have to have plans. Stealing them would be the fastest way to get to know this place and the most dangerous. Okay. Or explore the Rotunda. Oh, and we could possibly affect things. This is dangerous, but this is risky. I gotcha. Well, that makes sense. What's this? Ooh, the Bright Market. Bustling open market. What do we got? Explore the market, ask for directions. Both of those are bad. Engaging. Oh, I am bad at engaging. Oh, no. Oh, and we can gain local knowledge if we succeed. Okay, so maybe we'll do that next cycle. Pay the low-end toll, which is 60. Ugh. Okay, so that's definitely a gate to prevent us from going. Havenage construction yards. What do we got going on here? Assist a shipbuilder. You don't have connections, but you do have skills. If you can get a shipbuilder to notice them, you might be in, and we do have engineers, so that might be good. Or just haul materials. Okay. All right, well, I think we're going to have to go back and rest. We don't have... Do we have food? I don't know. Let's end cycle and see what happens. And we're starving now. This time you don't wake up. Instead, the ghost of the station, that shifting skeletal ring, surrounds you. For a moment, you're gone. Absent from your own body, stretched out across the colorless void. Then the connections begin to establish themselves, threads tugging on the edge of your mind. These threads become vectors of exchange and then extensions as you feel your thoughts slipping away down them, dissolving into the millions of distributed nodes they connect to. You see the station. No. You feel the station, like a web of texture in a smooth black liquid. Observe it. Even though you have no eyes, no sight, no feel. You feel the map of the station. No, not the map of the station, but the map of its connections. It's a looped cloud with spokes and spires that jut out into space. It's an ingrown thing full of obsolete loops and severed pathways. It's a system, a map, and a territory all at once. You notice a tugging feeling pulling at you insistently, as if it were a small child. Somehow it's pulling in two directions at once. You look down. All of a sudden, everything shuts off. You come back trembling into this unfamiliar body, both yours and not yours, all at once. You find yourself standing in the container, eyes now open to the dark steel walls. You feel a change within you, a shift. You close your eyes for a second, and you feel it waiting there, the station splayed out across your mind, a storm of connective nodes waiting to be explored. And then it's gone. Oh, we do not have good dice. Oh no. We are starving. That is bad. That is very bad. Okay. Yeah, we gotta go here. We need food. It's risky, but we gotta do it. Come on. Okay, good. We got some local knowledge. We need food. Food. Come on. Start it. Oh, no. We've used up some energy and we've not gained anything. Oh, this is not going well. Okay, we've got a little bit of local knowledge. Not enough, though. Need more. Need more. Ooh, oh. There's a doctor, and this looks like food. Emphas is busy, his broad face uplit by the makeshift gas burner in front of him. With precise, delicate movements, he lays thick chunks of marinated fungus into a dented wok, his other hand idly tossing a metal bowl of sliced vegetables in some red-flicked dressing. The smell is incredible. You watch as he fulfills a set of orders, heaping the fungus with the bright salad and depositing it in plastic trays. A stack of chits rattles in his apron pocket as customers file past the burner, handing over payment. Let's approach. Or do we watch? Let's watch. Despite the queue, Emphas doesn't rush. He dresses each portion individually, squeezing precise slugs of liquid from an assortment of bottles into the bowl of torn leaves and bright slices before tossing them loosely together. Occasionally, a waiting customer might mutter something about efficiency, but Emphas remains steadily in his process. After a while, the queue fades back into a crowd, and Emphas sets down his metal bowl and looks up across the burner to see you watching him. I can feel your eyes burning a hole in my bowl. Free sample? Yeah. He gestures neatly. Come over. The smell is almost unbearably strong as he cooks. The earthiness of the fungus laced with something so spicy the smoke makes your eyes water. The heat from the burner is like a bonfire, and your skin hardens in its glare. I know you. You sleepers. Emphas says while he cooks, his voice deep but clear. A hard life. A lot of stories. He glances up from beneath his cap with piercing eyes. I know. Tell him a story. You begin to tell him about your journey to the eye, and he nods as he cooks, his eyes never leaving his wok. You tell him of the confusion, the pain, but also the sense of possibility and its sudden arrival. You tell him of the cold and dark of the container and the endless cycles spent within it. Now it seems you tell him like some dream that you once had but can never forget. You tell him that the eye excites you and scares you and you're unsure where to walk, where to look, what to do. Eventually you tail off, running out of words. He places a plastic tray of steaming fungus in your hand. Next time we can talk some more. He smiles. But next time you pay. He slams a heavy hand against a button on the burner side and it shuts off. The roar of the flame and its impressive heat fades. Next time then, sleeper. He waves you away and begins to oil the wok. Before you turn back to the alley, you notice the geometric patterns of circular scars across his forearms, each surrounded with a constellation of glinting pin marks. You walk away, and as you do, you take a bite of the rich, spicy, delicately sweet fungus. Your taste sensors light up like a fusion reactor. You'll be back. Okay, we got a place where we can get foods. Yes, and we're not dying of starvation anymore. Yay. Okay, good. There's a slum doctor over here. Next comes the call from the enforcer at the door. Uh-oh. You shuffle down the flickering hallway towards the open apartment door. You keep your head down and your shoulders high in the queue, trying not to bring attention to yourself. You were thankful for the tip-off that a doctor was operating out of this place. But now that you're here, you aren't so sure. The gang enforcer on the door, the flickering light strips, the decaying hab block. They've all made the long queue a test of your nerve. But your options are few. And without a supply of stabilizer, this body, your body, will... You suppress a shiver and shuffle forward to the front of the queue. You try to find something to distract yourself. Look inside, look at the let's look inside. You lean against the doorframe and look into the apartment. The entryway is dark, punctuated by the green indicators of stacks of sealed containers. You lean in and see amber light filtering through a far doorway, screened with plastic sheeting, beyond which blurred shapes move. The slap of the enforcer's palm against the doorway jerks you awake. "Wait your turn," he growls. After a few moments, a figure pushes through the doorway, and you catch a distant voice.
"Send the next one in, Toshiro."
The enforcer jerks his head, and you slip inside, passing through the dark entryway and pushing through the plastic sheeting in the far door. The room beyond is bathed in warm light. The floor-to-ceiling transparent panel gives a full view of the Bright Market's sealed roof and the buzzing traffic above, and for a moment you're transfixed by the motion.
"Come, sit,"
calls a sharp voice, and you see a silhouetted figure turned away, replacing the plastic sheeting over the frame of a simple folding bed. You make your way across the room. The figure turns, and as they do, you see an expression of confusion flash across their features. They open their mouth as if to speak. They blink, and then quickly regain their composure.
"Please sit."
They gesture to the bed, then turn to an open case of tools on the table. You sit. Sabine turns, a compact diagnostic scanner of some kind in their hand. They hold to it with their eye.
"Remain still, please."
Their tone is clipped and businesslike. You stare ahead, still dazed from their expression when you first entered. Fear. Recognition. Sadness. Unmistakably etched across their face.
"How long have you been on the station?"
they ask, the scanner still to their eye.
"A few cycles."
They nod.
"It's good you came to me."
I set the diagnostic scanner on the table.
"I'm going to start by assuming you don't know anything."
They take your arm and roll up your sleeve, inspecting your synthetic skin.
"Your body is dying."
They say it without ceremony, without drama, but not without empathy.
SNARP doesn't like to see its proprietary technology let loose. To prevent bodies like yours, frames, as they call them, from being stolen, repurposed, or in your case, escaping, they built in a process of so-called planned obsolescence. Frames decay rapidly when not regularly injected with stabilizer, one which SNARP remains the sole producer of.
They look up.
"Sound familiar?"
"Yes."
"Good. That may help."
They swap to your other arm, running some thin metal device over your skin. You feel your forearm tremble.
"I'm sorry,"
Sabine says, and you're unsure if they meant for the cold touch of the metal or everything else.
"Emulations like you, sleepers, as most people know you, aren't classified as people in any of the surrogate subsystems. You have no rights, no status."
They focus hard on the inspection of your arm.
"And SNARP has no reason to release stabilizer onto the market."
Sabine looks up as if to apologize again, but they stop themselves.
"I know little of this is of use to you."
They turn away, disassembling the metal instrument and cleaning it. Silence fills the room as Sabine works, and then the silence gives way to tension. You stare at their back, willing them to say something, anything. Sabine turns to face you.
"I may be able to help."
They sigh, and you see the darkness under their eyes, hear the fatigue in their voice. They gesture to the door.
"You saw Toshiro outside?"
You nod.
"He works for my benefactor, Yatagan. They're influential in the low end. They give me this space to work, run the door, and take the profits. At the same time, I have to fix up their enforcers, tend to their implants, sew up their wounds."
They look away.
"But Yatagan has connections, smugglers from the Starward Belt, mercenaries working for the corporations on Ember. If they can source the stabilizer, maybe you'll have a better chance."
Sabine sets down their slate, their notes complete.
This is dangerous, and it'll be expensive, but I think we can do it."
"Thank you." Sabine walks away to the window, their face dappled by the shadows of passing drones.
"Let's just see if this works first. I'll let you know when I have a lead."
You nod and leave. Sabine still staring out, unmoving. When you reach the lower end of the market, you look back up through the panels of the roof to see if you can see their face. But the room looks dark against the lights of the market. You duck your head and walk off into the crowd. Ooh. Oh, this story's got some legs to it. I like it. What's this? Uh-oh. Drago's yard? I've got to do at least one more work shift for him before this fills up, I think. Can I grab more food? Do I need, machinist? Oh, cool. Here we go. Upgrade points. Oh. I don't have any upgrade. How do I get upgrade points? Okay. Repay Dragos. Okay. Eat at Emphasis Stall. Okay. Nothing complete. Okay. Do I have to come here and eat again? No, okay, so yeah, no, we should be good. We should be good. Let's go sleep, get some dice back. End the cycle, and I think we'll be good then, right? Yeah, because it decreases 2 every time. Again, the skeletal ring of the station fills your mind. It sparkles with glittering lights, like stars reflected in a winter lake. It's clearer, crisper than before. The threads still pull, but you remain in place, flickering in the flow. Between the threads, you see bright shapes, caches of shimmering light beneath transparent crystal forms. You follow the path of a thread across the ring, through these forms, and leap off into the void. You begin to understand these are nodes and connections, a map of information, of communication. There's so many layers, so many loops, that it seems almost impossible to parse. But you begin to try. Let's focus on the nodes. The nodes are glassy, bright, but in all this flow, the only solid and fixed points. You approach one. A pyramid, or a triangle. Dimensions are difficult here, and lean close to it. Inside, shifting layers conceal a tangle of threads, a meeting point of exchange. But before you can glimpse any further, the glass clouds and hardens, cutting you off. The threads and nodes, passages and puzzle boxes. One leads to another. There's so much here, so many answers, so many questions. All you need to do is follow the paths and open the boxes. You look out across this ghost landscape of exchange and see an opportunity. But then, that insistent tugging again, pulling at you. You look down again and see 2 lines, 2 threads pulling in different directions, as if they were tied around you. The first thread leads out, away from the station, to the inky black. Someone out there is tracking you, hunting you, following the thread to you. They're in a ship, and the ship is approaching ever closer with each cycle. The second thread leads in, pulling deep into the station. Your gaze follows it, and this time you see something. A sphere, shimmering above a strange angular body. A pulse shoots out from it, passing over you like a torch beam, testing you, tasting you. You open your eyes. Time is short. Hunted. Someone out there is tracking you, following your trail. It won't be long before they arrive. And we have to get out. Something has changed inside you. You can now access the data cloud of the Eye, a network of decaying protocols and data caches. Well, there, you can use dice and items to access systems and extract data, but be careful. These networks are old and strange. Click the Eye button at the top of the screen to toggle this view on and off. Ooh! The Eye button. I see you. Oh. 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 Look at all the things. Oh. So many things. Okay, let's finish this. We've got to do this. This is the most important thing. Do it. No, actually. Let's use this die. Because even if we get a neutral, it'll still push that. And we got a positive. Yes. Random scrap item. Yes. Okay, so now these are done. We've finished that. And we can go talk to Dragos again. Pragmatic salvager. You arrive into a buzz of activity at the yard. Red blinking lights flash across a vast dark shape suspended below the dome. They flicker across scorched hull plates and bent structures, spilling from holes in the twisted shape. The cutter is huge and has been torn apart in some violent encounter. She's a beauty, isn't she? Dragos stands to the side, focusing on the hulking ship as it's lowered into the yard. What is it? Dragos laughs. That, my friend, is A-grade scrap. I should thank you. This place was on its last legs when you turned up, and now look at this. The ship descends slowly, its interior visible through multiple hull breaches. You struggle to gather the same enthusiasm as Dragos for his monstrous craft. You can't help but think of what became of its crew. What happened? What do you mean? He glances at you. I managed to convince our salvager friends to give it to me on credit. That's what happened. No, what happened to the ship? Not my concern, he shrugs. The ship creaks like a caving iceberg as it reaches the base of the yard. Dragos is visibly excited. I know I said you shouldn't stick around, but I'm gonna need some help with this one. The drones start to crawl over the hulk, their lights illuminating flashes of dented hull. Watching, you wonder if you arrived in a similar fashion, locked inside that container, the wreck of the SNRP freighter lowered into the yard like a corpse ready to be butchered. Or was the container delivered to Dragos on its own? A womb for your rebirth into this strange station. You shudder. Perhaps if you could learn something about this ship, you might be able to trace the path that led you to this yard. Dragos squeezes your shoulder. After these past cycles, I think you're up to it. What do you think? You see the fading name of the ship emblazoned on its side. Winterlight. Let's do it. It claps you on the back. Glad to hear it. Come back in a few and we can make a start. A real beauty, Dragos repeats. Perhaps just to himself. You take one last look at the shattered ship as the drones start cutting and then slip out of the yard, feeling suddenly cold in the empty passage. Ooh, new drive discovered. You've completed your first drive. Each drive completed unlocks an upgrade point to spend on upgrading your character. Access your character menu at the arrow button in the top right of the screen. Okay, we got a drive finished. Yay! And that gets us an upgrade point. Okay, so these require 2 upgrade points. Use scrap components at home to repair your condition. Agent nodes give double data rewards. Chance to gain cryo on interface actions. Okay. Photosynthetic skin sunbathe dice action allows energy recovery at home. Ooh, interesting. Predictive reasoning. Dice actions display potential positive and negative outcomes. Or thrill seeker. Chance to gain energy after any engage action. Oh, I would have to actually level this up just by itself just to get rid of the negative. Okay. So I can't do this one because it's already +1. Right? Because I'm an engineer. So I'm already at +1. Okay, so engage here is already at -1, so it's in this slot. All of these are at 0, so they can get me an extra perk. But this one I'd have to bring it up to here. Gotcha. Reroll all of your dice once per cycle. Oh, that sounds really good. And predictive reasoning. Dice actions display potential positive and negative outcomes. I mean, that's not great. That's not awesome. See, this is a nice passive ability, and I think I'm going to want to do some interface action. So let's upgrade this skill. Oh, okay. So that's how it works. You start out at a -1, then you go up to a 0, and then you gain a perk, but not necessarily the +1. Gotcha. Okay, so you start with a +1 and a perk, and a -1. So, okay, that's cool. I like how that works. And I'm really getting the feeling that this needs to be me streaming this. Because this is going to be longer form than even this long episode as it is. So, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment, and we will be streaming more of this. Because I'm really enjoying this. And I hope you like it. I hope you come back here on the BackLog. Thank y'all for joining me. I'll play it again later.